Okay, so I hope I'm live and welcome back to this session, guys. Welcome back to the playlist of Frontend, and we are covering Mixed Projects third part, and this is lesson number 49 with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so let me check if I'm live. Perfect. So I think I'm live. Let's get started. 1 second. Okay. I hope now you can hear me clearly, and please let me know if you guys can hear me and you can see my video clearly. As I can see, it's everything is perfect. So let's get started. Now this particular session why I have created is basically Mixed Projects 2. If you see, we were doing two projects, right? We were doing two sessions, Mixed Projects 1 and Mixed Projects 2. But in the second part, in the Mixed Projects second, I think in between uh, one project when we are doing, it did not get completed, right? So that is why I decided to bring up one more session on Mixed Projects, so that the project which we are working on, which was just half done, will get completed that. And also we'll also do one more project, so that you can understand, and you have a list of projects to showcase, right? So in this particular session, we are going to complete the half done project, which was the carousel one, and also we'll do one more project, which will be, you will get to know which one is it. And if somebody is new here and doesn't know what is going on here and what I'm speaking, so let me tell you about this. Actually, this is CodeBeyond channel, and we are providing front-end playlist in which we are covering all the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Not only basic, but everything, right, from in and out. And we are trying to cover most of the concepts, so that the interview, if you're going for or sitting for an interview for a front-end developer position, it can be getting cracked. Okay, so that is our whole motto, and this is basically the lesson number 49. And if you do not know about me, so let me tell you about myself. My name is Ritwik Raj, and I'm a corporate trainer. I have also worked as a research analyst and subject matter expert in most of the edtech companies. I have 3+ years of teaching experience, and I have trained graduates and corporate employees in Edison and Capgemini. I've trained more than 30K students till now, and it is increasing day by day. The subjects which I take is mostly into front-end development, back-end languages, database, and mostly the full stack development domain. So I do also take and guide tips and tricks on how to crack virtual interview and face-to-face interview. So soon I'm going to take that session as well. And I have very good news for you right now, is that you can use my code RIT10 to get a free level sample test paper. Now, if you do not know what is Relevel, then don't worry. In 1 minute, I'm going to tell you about that. But if you know about Relevel, then you must be knowing that you have to give a Relevel test of 1000 marks. And you have to be very sure about it, right? So we are providing a free level sample test paper, so that you can get an idea what kind of questions can be asked in the actual test, so that you'll be well prepared, right? So this is for you and for your own benefit, right? Now, the people who do not know what is level, let me tell you about this. Now, basically, most of the students are from Tier 3 college, and in all Tier 3 college, maybe most of the MNC companies do not come to hire or get you interviewed, right? And maybe there are some people who wants to jump to IT companies, and they have a degree of BSc or BCom or BCA, right? So you have applied to 50-60 companies, but still you haven't been called for even a single interview, right? The reason can be anything. The reason can be your degree, the reason can be your marks, the reason can be your connections with other people around the IT field, or reason can be many things, right? But now here in Relevel, what is this? It is India's first test hiring platform by Unacademy, which is helping job seekers find their dream jobs. And you can get a job based on your skills and talent. So only on the basis of the skill and talent, you're going to get a job here. Nobody is going to question you which college are you from, or which degree you have. Okay. Here, how we are going to judge? We are going to judge by just one free test. Again, I'm repeating, this is a free test of 1000 marks. You have to score above 700 to get a passed thing. Okay. Now, if you pass it, right, then after that, what's going to happen is we are going to create a profile for you, so that that profile will be shared with all our client companies. Over 50+ companies, including top startups and unicorns like Upgrad, is there with us. So those companies you will get placed into. So you'll get interviewed and you'll get hired. There are 1000+ job positions across business development, front-end development, and back-end development. So you have a very high opportunity here, right? Now let me tell you how do you sign up and how do you register yourself in Relevel. So in the video when you're watching, in the description you can see that there is a link which is provided. So if you click on that link, you will be taken to relevel.com. Once you go there, you have to sign up. You can see one button which is sign up. You can click on it and you can go ahead and put your mobile number. You will get an OTP, and after that you will get into this page which is telling you to select the test of your choice. So whatever skill do you have, if you have skills on business development, if you have skills on front end or back end, you have to choose that particular test, and you have to book a slot when you want to give the level test. Slots are limited, so I suggest you to book it fast. Okay, so you can choose any date whenever you are free, whenever you want to take the test, and then you have to fill in your details for admit card. So you have to put the full name, you have to put the email ID, birth year and current state, and then gender, and after that you can apply the code. Okay, once you apply that code which is RIT10 and you click on apply and you click on create account, the account will be created for you and you'll get the sample paper. So once you get the sample paper, try to solve it, try to see what all kinds of questions have been asked and how it is getting solved, and then you'll be able to understand that in actual test what questions can be asked and in what form, right? So it'll be really beneficial for you that you can use the promo code mentioned in the description to get a bonus sample paper for the test, correct? So do not waste time, because as I mentioned, slots are limited. Go ahead and register yourself in Relevel. If you've already done it, all the best. If you have not done it, go ahead and do it. If suppose you are not skilled enough to give this test, you are thinking that, oh, I just know these two languages, how can I pass this exam, right? Then what you have to do is you have to go to CodeBeyond channel. You have to see in the playlist what all things are available, what all live sessions are going on, which particular educator is teaching which particular subject, DSA, CP, backend, frontend, Python, SQL, everything is going on live right now. So you can go ahead and watch those live sessions to upskill yourself. Once you're ready, then you can register here for Relevel, correct? Okay. Now, also you can join the Telegram channel, because in Telegram channel, basically we are providing all the notifications when which particular trainer is coming live, right? So it'll be really good if you can join here, because all the code files also will be shared here and you can talk to me as well here, right? The next thing is, please subscribe to the channel and also please hit the notification bell so that you get to know when I'm coming live, and notifications will be coming in your YouTube app as well, right? Also, please, if you're liking the session, like it and share it with your friends so that they can also get to know that these free sessions are going on and the educator is teaching very nicely, right? So let's go ahead and let's do the project. Okay, now understand, this session is designed only to complete the project which was done only halfway through in lesson number 48, which was Mixed Projects 2, part 2, right? So we are going to continue from that. So if you have not seen this, if you have not seen the video of Mixed Projects 2, then I'll please tell you to go ahead and watch that, because you're not going to understand anything because here I'm going to start it in between. Okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code where I'm starting the code. Okay, just one second. Right, and this was the thing which we were doing that time, right? We were working on carousel and we were seeing that how this works, right? And what we have done is we have done some of the things. Let me show you. So in the browser right now you won't be able to see anything, because right now carousel is there, it is live, and in the server it's running, but you can't see here anything because I have made everything as hidden, right? Display as none, that's why. Now, if you do not know what's going on here, and if you're new here, then please, I'll suggest you to go ahead and watch Mixed Projects second part and then come back to this video. Okay, if you have already watched that, then it will be making sense for you. So here what I'm going to do, as you can see, just let's revise what all things we have done till now. So we first completed the HTML code. We have first written the div class slideshow container, which was getting closed here. So this whole thing is basically the one container inside which we have designed some small containers like 1, 2, and 3, where we are putting up 3 pictures, right? Some scenery pictures are there in pick 1, pick 2, and pick 3. After that, what we have done is we have given a link to previous and next. Why this link is given? Basically to click on those arrows so that the next image can be seen, and that's what is a class name, prev and next. Right now we have not done JavaScript, So that's why you won't be able to see the JavaScript, right? So this is the div container, and this is the 3 divs where we have written all the codes. Fine. And then there is the previous and next. I think my screen was showing the browser, that's why you won't be able to see it, but right now you can see now. Okay. Then we have one more div where I have written this text line center, because you must have seen in carousels there are always three or four dots, which when you click it also goes back to the image, right? So that dots also we have given. We have not designed the dots yet because that will be done using CSS. So let's come back to CSS. In CSS, we have just given the box sizing border box, and then we have given some body and something to my slides. My slides is basically this slide, right? And in this slides, we have made it display none because we don't want to show it right now, right? That's why we have done display none. And image, we have vertically aligned to middle so that it should be in the center. And slideshow container, we have make it mixed with 1000 pixels so that if your screen is 1080, then 1000 pixel only the picture will come, only that slideshow will run in 1000 pixel. And previous to and next, we have given a cursor pointer, we have given these all properties, and we have made sure that the previous and next is having all these properties. Okay, now to the next button, that is your right hand side button, we have made sure that this comes in the right, because if we don't write this, then what's going to happen, that next button will also come in the left hand side, because everything whatever you put in your web page starts from the left hand side. So if I don't write right equal to 0, then the next button will also be in the left hand side, but we don't want that, we want it to be on the right, and that's why we have written this. Okay, till now we have done this much, and there was more code which I was writing in the mixed part 2, but suddenly my OBS got stuck and we only did this much, right? So now we are continuing and we are covering up the code, and we are completing this particular project also. Just give me some time and let me open the live session in my mobile so that I can actually see if any live chat is there. Okay, if you guys are watching, then please do let me know so that I can also get to understand that okay, you guys are watching it. Fine. So here I wanted to write the hover effect to priv and next also. So I'm going to write here hover, and I'm just going to say next, and to this also I'm going to give hover. Okay, so hover effect, what effects I want to do here, I want to just give here a background color. Okay, that's it. I'm going to use RGBA for that. I'm going to give here 000, but in alpha I'm going to just make it 0.8. Fine. Now hover is done. Now the text part. So if you remember, we also have a text part which is called as caption text. So for each of the image we have one caption text, right? So that's for that also we need to write the CSS. So I'm just writing here text because that's the class which I have written down. If you look at line number 61, right, that's the class. So to this class I'm going to give some text colors and all. So let's say I'm writing here color, and I'm going to give here font size. Let's say I'm giving here 15 pixel, and let's say I'm giving here a padding. If you can notice how I'm giving, it's just 8 pixel and 12 pixel. That means top bottom will be 8 pixel and left and right will be 12 pixel. Position, again, because it is text which is written below the image, it should be absolute. Also, the caption should always be in the center of the image. If it is on the left hand side, it won't look good. So that's why we have written that. And from bottom, we are going to give one 8 pixel size, so that bottom there should be a gap after the image. And also there should be a width. I hope you guys are understanding this, because already we have done these things of CSS in many of the projects. So I hope you're understanding these all things. Any which ways, if I save this, nothing is going to happen in a browser, so I'm not going to show you anything right away. But now is the time that we have to write something for this number text. So this number text is also there, and 1 by 3, 2 by 3, 3 by 3, these all things should also be visible, right? So for this also we will give number text, and here we are going to give some of the properties. So first color, and then we are going to give here font size. Let's say 12 pixel. The next what we are going to do is we are going to give here padding. The similar way how we have done it for caption, the same way I'm just giving the same values so that these two things look similar. Position also we will give here absolute, and the next we are going to make it look in the top corner, so that's why this. Okay, so in the top corner this 1/3, 2/3 and 3/3 should be coming. Now the most important part, which is our dot. So let's see how we can make a dot. The dots are 3 dots. If you click on the first dot, first image should come. If you click on the second dot, second image should come. The HTML for that is written here, as you can see. Class dot on click current slide 1, current slide 2, current slide 3. This function will be declared and defined in the JavaScript part. Okay, so in the dot, how can we provide this dot? First of all, let's give a cursor and let's say that it is a pointer. So whenever the cursor moves to that dot, the cursor becomes a pointer. The next we are going to give a height, let's say 15 pixel. And next we are going to give a width, let's say again 15 pixel. And margin, let's say I'm going to give 0 and 2 pixel. And next we are going to give here background color. So let's say the background color is this much, and border radius 50%. And the next thing is display inline block, because obviously we want all these dots not to be in a vertical way but in a horizontal way, so we are putting it as inline block. And we are also going to give a transition. Now understand, again this transition has come. This transition is basically to make your background color come in a way. So let's say I'm putting here background color for 0.6 seconds. This particular thing should come in a ease way. Okay, this transition we have also done it in my quiz, so you must be understanding what is this. Okay, now one more place we have to use this transition, which is here in previous next, but we'll use it later on. I'll show you when to use. So dot is done. Now after dot, we are going to write hover effect to this dot. So I'm going to give here dot active and dot colon hover. So to this, one second. To this, I'm going to change the background color. So let's say the background color I'm going to give here is 717171. Okay, and nothing else. So active and dot over is done. Now we have to make the animation, which is fade. So I'm not going to do that right away because any which way we have not understood animations. So right now we will not do that code. Okay, let's come back directly to our JavaScript, because we need to see whether this part is working or not, right? So let's come back to our JavaScript part and let's finish that first, and then we'll see what changes can be done in our CSS. Fine. So in the script part, let's understand what all things we need. First of all, we need plus slides method, we need current slide method, and we also need one more thing. One more function, which is show slides. I'll write that show slide here. So first of all, where we are going to put here slide index equal to 1. Okay, first of all, the slide which is there are 3 images, there are 3 slides. First of all, the index value which I have given is 1, so that it's there in the first slides. Okay, now I'm going to call slide index. I'm calling show slides, which is a function, and we'll write that function right away. So I'm calling that function in here. Okay, so here I'm going to create the function. First of all, I'm going to create the function which is plus slides. The plus slides you can see in line number 107 and 108. So here I'm going to give an n value, and we are going to say again show slides. This function will do something for it. So I'm going to add the number to it. Okay, now understand what is happening. So if plus slides is -1, -1 is gonna come here and then it will get added to this. So slide index plus equal to -1. That means slide index equal to slide index plus -1. So slide index -1. Slide index -1 means 1 minus 1. It will become 0. So whatever is this slide index, it's gonna reduce 1 from that, right? So if your screen is in 1, if your slide is in 1, if you're going to have the previous button, if you're clicking on previous button, then from one slide, it's going to go to the 0th slide. Correct? If suppose you're clicking on next button, so it's going to add. So 1 plus 1 is become 2. So it will go to the next slide. That's why we have written this. Okay. Once I will write the slow slides function, that is the main logic which we have to write. So I'll write that and I'll show you. Here I'm going to write function. And to this, we are going to put up current slides, because now we need to also know what is the current slide which is going on. And current slide, if you see, we have used it in 113, 114 and 115. So here also I'm going to give n. Okay. And then we are going to put up again show slides, but this time slide index will not be adding, will be just making it equal. So let's say I'm putting here show slides. Okay. And to this slow slide, I don't want to add something. See, because here I'm calling that function, right? Current slide 1. So 1 is going to get into this number. N will be 1. Again, N will be 2. N will be 3. So I'm just saying that which particular slide is it now, right? So there are 3 slides. If suppose you're in the second slide, this number will go here. It will say that right now the user is in the second slide. So we do not want to add something here, but we just want to update the n value or the slide index value. So I'm just going to say here equal to n. That's it. Fine. Okay. Why are we using active? So you can see I have already explained this in my pseudo classes. What are the pseudo classes? We have active, link, visited and hover. So we want to make sure that whenever the link is active, that means whenever this particular dot, the dot says active, the background color will be gray. And whenever we hover also, then also the dots should be gray. That's why we are using here active. You can also write here dot active. You can do that. Fine. Let's move ahead and let's write the main function where our logic will be there, which is show slides, right? I'm going to put here show slides function, and in this we are going to put up the logic for this. Okay, now understand, first of all, let's see what all things we have written. So for previous and next, our code is done. For previous and next, we know that if we click on the previous arrow, then it's gonna go to the previous slide. If we click on the next arrow, it will go to the next slide. Okay, so carousel will be working, but we have given it the function call. So we need to write this function, then only it will happen, right? The next is current slide. That also we have written here that it will tell me that which is the current slide, that is slide index. And coming to the CSS, we have also written all the CSS, but we can't see it right now because display is none. So I'm going to show it once we will complete the script part. Okay, now we will also use one more animation and transition, and a little bit of idea I'll give you what is transition animation. Tomorrow itself we are covering animation and transition, so you will get a better idea tomorrow. But here I'm just going to give a glance that what is transition, transform and animation, so that we get an idea what are these things and how does it work. Fine. Let's come back to our function and let's complete this code. Fine. So here, first of all, I'm going to take one variable, which is I, and I'm going to take one more variable, which is slides. Now understand, whatever is my slides, right? This my slides, 3 slides we have written here, right? So no matter what, whichever slide are you in, that value should go to this slide. Okay. So let's say document dot get element by ID. The ID which I have used there is, one second. This is not an ID, this is a class name. My slides is a class name. So I'll not be using ID. There is something called as class name. Can you see? So we can use this directly. So I'm going to use here my slides. Fine. So whatever will be there inside this div element where I've written my slide, whatever number is it 1, is it 2, is it 3, that is gonna getting stored into the slides. Fine, this variable. Now let me hide this so that you can see the whole code. And right now what we'll do is we will write one more variable. We'll say here dots. Okay. And in this dots, whatever dot the user is in, right? There are 3 dots. So let's say the user is in second dot. So that value also should get stored somewhere. So that value should get stored in here. So can you see what is the class here? It's dot. So I'm going to put the same thing. I'm going to copy this. Guys, I can see the live chat is totally empty. If you have any questions, please do let me know. And if you're understanding completely, then please give a thumbs up if you can give, or just dab or do something else, right? So that I can understand, okay, everything is there, everyone is there and they're understanding, right? I know CSS part is a little bit tricky because I've just written the code and I've not shown you the result because I've written visible none, display none. So don't worry. Once again, when I'll show you the result, then we'll again come back to the CSS. So don't worry about that. Okay, var dots equal to document dot get in by class name dot. Fine. So my value will be there now. Now, if let's say if n is greater than slides dot length. Now what is n? If you look here, we have already written the n, right? This n is taking out only 3 values. It will take only 3 values, either 1, 2, 3. If it is greater than slides dot length, what is the meaning of that? That means if the slides are less and the number of images or the number of this thing which you are giving, right, is more, then what's gonna happen? So let's see. If it's gonna be more, what will happen? Slide index will come back to 1. Okay. So if the number is greater than slides dot length, then it's gonna come back to 1. Slide index value will become 1. Remember the slide index value what we have given here? At starting we have given 1. So at starting it will start from 1 itself. The next what you are going to write is if will show slide function take an argument. So yeah, slow slide function will take an argument. It will take n. Sorry, I missed on that. How can you master the CSS? It is very fast. How can you remember everything? Yeah, Parak, I know that. Don't worry. I was very fast on writing CSS because I just wanted to show you the result. So that's why I did that. But we will do it reverse, okay? When I show you the result, I'll show you how to do CSS. Fine. We will comment all the CSS and then we'll again do the CSS. So don't worry about that. CSS is a trial and error method. So you have to always have a 2 screen to see what's going on in the code and what's going on in the web page. So if suppose you're writing here, let's say you're writing bottom 8 pixel, right? But you never know what is happening in the web page. Maybe 8 pixel is very much larger, right? I have already written this code, so I know that's why. So you have to do here a very good trial and error method. You have to give here 2 pixel, then you have to check for 6 pixel, then you have to check for 8 pixel till the time you get the desired space. Okay, so this will take time. We are teaching you, we are providing a tutorial. So these things are already written so that it doesn't take time. But I'll give you an idea once we will see the result. Don't worry. Okay, Parak. So slide index. Yeah, so this argument is there. I missed it. Obviously, it will take an argument because we are passing. It will take a parameter because we are passing arguments here. So it's gonna take it. Now slide index equal to 1 for n greater than slides dot length. Next, what we are going to do is if n is less than 1, understand that this n is again this n, okay, which is coming from my function calling from here, and from here. So If suppose it is coming from here, then slide index is 1. So if 1 is coming here, it's never gonna be n less than 1, right? But if suppose something happens and 1 minus 1, or sometimes it becomes 0, right? Let's say it becomes 0, then what's gonna happen? So then what's gonna happen is slides, whatever is the slide length, that's gonna be my slide index. Slide index equal to slides dot length. So whatever is my slides length, what is my slides length? If you look here, this is the slides. Whatever is the slides, 3. So 3 will become the slide index. Okay. So if the slide index will become 3, that means n will also become 3. Okay. So these two cases are only written when the number of images are not matching with the number of dots, or the number of dots are not matching with the number of how many previous and next values you have given. Okay, if those are not matching, then this will come up. If suppose everything is fine, then what's going to happen? We are going to use for loop. So let's say I'm writing here for I equal to 0, and I'm going to say for I less than slides dot length. What is the slide dot length? It's 3, right? So 3 times the loop will go. Why I'm putting up the loop? Because if the carousel is there, if you're clicking on next, it goes to the second image. If you again click on the next, it will go to the third image. And if you again click on next, the first image will again come up, right? So you need to make sure that the loop is there. It's not gonna be like first, second, and third, then stop. Then again you have to click on the previous button. That should not happen, right? That's why we are putting up here the for loop. Okay, now this one for loop is for the arrows, correct? So what I'm going to do here is slides dot length I plus plus. So I'm just incrementing it, and here I'm going to write slides will take the value I and will change the display to none, so that others are not visible. Okay, the only one which is showing, the image that is showing, only that will be shown, the others will be none. Okay, so I equal to 0, 0 is less than 3, it will come down, it will be displayed none. Fine, this is your first loop. The next one, we are going to do it for dots. So for, I'll give a space here, 1 second. Now I again less than dots dot length. Why for dots? Because dots is also you're going to click, right? That functionality also we have to give. So dots dot length and I plus plus. Here there will be something else. So have a look. Dots I dot class name equal to dots I dot class name replace, and we are going to make it active. So I'm just writing here active. So what are we doing here? We are basically making our display none. What is display none? We are making it active here. Okay, so whatever is the dot, the class name will replace it with active. So whatever is the value here, I'm going to give here comma. So whatever is the value here, that's gonna change and that's gonna replace with active. So let's put up a semicolon and let's go ahead after the for loop. And here I'm going to put slides slide index -1 dot style dot display. I'm changing it to block so that everything can be seen now. Okay, block, and also we'll make all the dots also as active. Slide index -1 dot class name plus equal to active. Now let's close it. Okay, first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to see the output, okay? And then we are going to come back. So 1 second. Let me see if any error are there. Okay, so there are some errors. Let's find. Slide is not, let me show you. You can see here, there are some errors here. So some spellings are wrong, so we need to correct it. So let's go back. Okay. So we have slide is not defined at show slides. Let's check out where is something wrong. It must be slides dot length in the for loop. 1 second. Yeah, the spelling is wrong. 1 second. Where slides, right? Yes, this is slides. Okay. The other error is current slide is not defined on click. Current slide, it's not slides. Plus slides. Yes, that is correct. Let's save this now. Okay. So fine. If I go back, now understand what is happening. So you can see the output is coming here, right? And here, if you see, we have this dots. Can you see down? There is the dots. These are the dots. Fine. Now you'll understand all the code because I'm going to go back and I'll come back here again. So we have the dots here. We have 3 dots, right? If I click on this, we are going to the second one. If I click on this, we are going to the third one. Correct? Also, there's an arrow. Can you see this arrow? Right? And if I click on this arrow, it's going to the second one. If I click on this, it's going to the first one. Again, if I click, it's going back to the third one, right? How this is working? This is the loop, right? Because every time I click this, it is in loop. It's not going to stop. It's not saying that this button is not working, correct? Let's come back to the code now. I hope you have understood what is happening here. Also, I'll make you understand what is this. Can you see above at the top, there is 3 by 3. It's 2 by 3. It's 1 by 3. Also, if you can see here, there's a caption text, right? Now let's understand the code. Now that we have seen what is the result, let's understand the code. I should have shown the result earlier. That's fine. Now let's understand one by one, okay? So we have this div class slideshow container, right? Let me show you that also. See, if I go to inspect, can you see this? When I'm clicking on this, that is the whole container, right? And if I click on this one, let's say I'm opening this, right? This one is the first image and this one is the second image, but it is not showing me there in the blue color. Why? Because it's hidden. The display is none right now. That's why it's hidden. See here also, for these two, it is not showing me anything. Let's say I'm going to the next image. Can you see? In this one, it is showing me, but now in this one, it is not showing me. And in the third one, it is not showing me. If I go to the third one, for this, it is showing me, it is not showing me. For this one also, it is not showing me. But for the third one, it is showing me blue color, right? So what one by one, the elements or the images are getting, actually not the images, but the whole container is getting hidden. That's why at one time, we can see only one particular image. Let's come back to the code. So we have written these 3 things. Then we have given a previous and a next link. And then we have written the dots, right? How did we create the dots? We used here the cursor pointer. We have given a height. We have given a width. We have given a margin. Background color is white so that it comes as a circle. And then we have given border radius, display inline block, and transition. So if you look at this, you can see here that the cursor pointer is changing. And also the transition, if you can see, if you can see here, when I'm hovering, right, you can see that the background color is changing, but the background color is changing very smoothly. It's not like suddenly when I'm keeping the mouse, the background color is changing. Can you see? It's happening very smoothly, right? That is 0.6 seconds with ease. That is the transition. That's the transition which I've written in the code. Background color should get changed in 0.6 seconds with ease. So softly it's gonna change. So whenever I'm hovering, it's softly changing. If I remove this transition, let's say coming to the code, if I remove this transition, if I just remove it, and if I save this, let's go back to my browser. Now have a look when I hover. Can you see the difference? There's no smoothness. It's directly changing the color, right? So that's what is a transition. This also will do in the caption thing, but not right now. First, let's understand the code. I'm going to put the transition back again here, and we have given background color. It is changing. The dot is also created. Let's come to the number text. The number text, if you can see, we have given a color here as white. Font size, padding, position absolute. Why position absolute? Because it is coming over the image. And also top is 0 because it's in the corner, the top left corner. So if you see 1/3, can you see here? It's very small. It's white in color. 2/3 and 3/3. Right? That's what is a number text. Let's come back. We have the text here. Again, the text, this text is your caption text. So we have color, the same things we have given, align center and all. So if you see, we have the caption text, align center. Why is it over the image? Because we have given position absolute. Okay, let's come back to the code again. Now here we have previous hover, next over, background color RGBA. Correct? Whenever you hover into those arrows, the background color should change. Now have a look what is happening. So if I hover, can you see the arrow color is black right now? Not the arrow color, basically the background. Here also is background. So it's black, but there's an alpha value to it. Okay, that's what is that code. Another one, next right 0. Next is nothing but the arrow key. So I want it to be in the right position. That's why this is on the right position. It's not here. If I would have not written right, this arrow would have come here. But now it is not because I've written right 0. So from right, there should be no space. Cool. Let's come back. This is previous and next. The cursor pointer and all, which you can see. Slideshow container, maximum width is 1000 pixels. So if you look here, this image is basically shown in 1000 pixel. Okay. That's what is maximum width 1000 pixel. Even if I move ahead, inside 1000 pixel itself, everything is coming. The arrow key also, the caption text also, and this 1/3, 2/3 is also coming in that itself, right? Let's come to the JavaScript code now, because these are all font family and box sizing. So doesn't matter here. So how this is working basically? So first of all, let's understand what all things we have taken. We have taken slide index equal to 1, right? And then we have made show slide index calling, right? So here what is happening? Basically it is calling the function. So let's go to the calling function. So what will happen? This show slides, this n will become 1, correct? That's what's gonna happen. Where slides equal to document.getElement by class name. So in the class name my slides, the value will come here. Okay. So how many slides are there? That's gonna count. How many dots are there? That's gonna count. And then if 1 is greater than slides.length, if it is, then slide index equal to 1. Okay. Because why? Because if n is 1, n obviously will be 1 at the beginning. Slides.length is 3, right? So this is not true. Correct? Again it will come down. 1 is less than 1. It's not true. So it's gonna come here in the for loop I equal to 0. 0 is less than slides.length. 0 is less than 0 is less than, once again, yeah, 0 is less than slides.length, which is 3. So 3 times it's gonna loop, and then it's gonna 1 by 1 it's gonna not show the images. That's why slide 0.style.display none. Why have I written 0 here? Slide 0 means the first image. When you will go to the next image, when you will click the arrow, right? So if you're clicking the arrow, that means I is 0 there. Okay, when I is 0, I want that slide to not be visible, so that the next one should be visible. Again, when you're going to the next one, I'll become what? I'll become 1. So the the first slide after 0th, the first slide will become display none and the other one will be visible. So it's going alternate. Okay, that's how it is working. Same thing we are doing for dots. See, if you don't want to bring up dots here, let's say that you don't want these dots, you can remove all the dots program. Then what will happen? This dot program will also get removed. This one will also get removed. This only the down one. Okay, so either you keep the arrow or either you keep the dots. Okay, it's not both. If you want to keep both, that is also fine. But understand that this is for the arrow keys, how your arrow keys will change the slides, and this is for the dots, how the dots will change the slides. Okay, so in dots, what I'm doing, dots 0 dot class name. If you look here, dots is this one, dot class dot 0 dot class name. I'm changing and replacing it with active. That means if I'm clicking that dot, then the image should be seen. It should not be none. So that's what we have written here. Okay, so this is how this, I know it's very complicated. That is why it is in an intermediate code. You can make it very easy also, and you can make it very hard also, but this is how it works. It must be size dot length. Okay, why the border radius on the previous and next? 1 second. Okay, so we have here border radius in previous and next. 1 second. Okay, so we have given border radius. That means this is top, this is the bottom, and no, sorry, top, right and bottom we are giving something, right? Okay, I don't think you can see it closely. That's why you're asking this question. The screen is small. If I remove this, 1 second. Let's say I'm removing this, okay? And let's say also I'm removing this one. Fine. Let's save this and you can have a look here. You can't see basically any change, right? But I can see the change. See what is happening is on the bottom and on the right, the black thing is having a curve. Okay. You can't see because it's very small. Even if you don't give border radius, it's fine. It's looking good only. There is no problem. So border radius is making the borders, whatever the border we have given, it's making it like a curve. You can't see that curve because right now I've not given it. And when I was giving it, then also it was very small change because it was just 3 pixels. So it's not showing here right now. Okay. So that is what is what pixel. Don't give it. That's fine. Don't make it too obvious. So this is what is your carousel. Okay. Now what we'll do, let's move to the another code and let's understand what is that. So I'm not going to type the code, but I'm just going to show you how does it look like. So I'm just going to open that. This is basically the tip calculator. Okay. So in restaurants, you do give tips, right? That's what it is. So let's see what is the code for that. Now, first of all, let me show you how does it look like, and then we will see the code of it. Okay. So open with live server, and you can see this is how this particular tip calculator is looking. You can find it anywhere, right? But let me make you understand how this is working first of all. So it says how much is your bill, and you can see this rupee symbol here, right? So this rupee symbol is basically again an entity which you're using. Okay. So entity, which particular number will give you this rupees, I'll tell you right away. But suppose if I'm giving here 560 as the rupees, which is my bill in any restaurant, I'm choosing an option. I want to choose, let's say 10%, which is bad. Fine. So here I'm going to give a number of people. Let's say 2 people. I'm going to calculate. So it's going to calculate for each of the people how much you have to give as a tip. Okay. So me and my friend, if I go, I have to pay 28 and he has to also pay 28. Fine. This is also in rupees. Fine. Let's suppose that I'm reloading the page and I'm not choosing any bill amount. I'm not choosing anything. I'm just clicking on calculate. It says please enter values. Okay. The next thing what I'm going to do, let's say I'm putting here 560 and let's say I'm choosing 10%. Okay. And I'm not writing number of people. It's going to calculate, but it's not giving me each here. Can you see? So if you're not giving number of people, that means it is considering you as a one person. Okay. If you're not giving number of people, that means you are only one. So you have to pay 56 rupees, right? The earlier way it was giving 28. Fine. Let's say that I'm putting here 100 and I'm not putting anything here. Let's reload the page. Let's write 560. I'm not putting anything. Let's calculate. Please enter values, right? If I choose anything and if I calculate, it's gonna give me the tip amount for only one person. Fine. Understood this much? Let's come to the code. Now, when you have seen the particular web page, you must be now understanding what kind of code will be written here. Okay. So in HTML, we have all the different things. Like we have the H1, which is tip calculator. We have the paragraph, how much was your bill? And then we have an input here. Now understand, when I'm putting this text box, before the text box, there is a symbol which is rupees, right? So have a look in the code. Can you see this 8377? This is the entity which I'm giving. So the entity is 8377, which is providing me the rupees symbol. Fine. You can note it down somewhere because you will not get this in any tutorials. You'll get it in Google. So please write it somewhere. Now I have given some ID and all and placeholder something. So that's very obvious. If you reload the page, you'll be able to see all the placeholders and all, right? Let's come back. Here I have how was your service? That is my paragraph. And then I have select an option. Do you remember we were getting the options when I clicked something? So these are the select an option. These are the select an option. Also, one more thing. You remember when I was teaching you form, I told you that you can have choose an option. But as you can see, you can't select choose an option here. But it is showing me the option of choose an option, right? This choose an option is now disabled. How we can disable it? Let's understand. Because this is something new. So in option, I have written, it's written here disabled, it's written selected, and then value 0. So for this choose an option thing, there is no value. It will be already selected and it will be disabled. That means a user cannot select this. Okay, that's what is your choose an option doing here, as it is disabled. And for outstanding, can you see we have used some of the entities here. This is not anything too much serious about. It is just normal thing. You can see the percentage and the dash. So the percentage entity is 37 and the dash entity is 45. That's what is written here. Okay, so it has not given percentage and dash. Instead, we have given entity. That's what it is. After that, again, we have a paragraph where it is asking how many people are sharing the bill. And we have two things. We have one input button. We have one input where we are writing the people and how many people are there, and then button. So button will basically calculate everything. Now, the next one is basically the total tip, because this will be hidden first of all, right? In the first place, this will be hidden. As you can see, this is not showing me anything here. As soon as I click on calculate after putting down the values, then only it's gonna show me something, and that's when we will make it appear. Okay, so here you can see div ID total tip. This is where the total tip will be given, and 8377, as I said, rupees symbol will be shown here. That is 0.0 for beginning, and this is each, right? Now the most important part of this particular project is this each. Okay, when this each should be shown and when not, that is the most difficult part. Okay, other than that, everything is fine. So I'm not going to show CSS because CSS is basically those things which you want. If you want to change the color, you can change how you want to appear it. So those are just trial and error methods. This is a very long code, so I'm not going to show you this. You can, even without CSS, you can work with this, right? JavaScript here is very important because here you are going to mention all the functionality. So let's understand what is written here. Okay, now first of all, understand that what is this? Calculating the tip, right? So this is one function which is very important because you have to calculate the tip. For that, this function, if you look here, this function bracket is getting closed down. Okay, it is not closed in the beginning, it's just closing at the last. So the whole thing is a function, first of all. So calculate tip, if you look at the HTML code, calculate tip is somewhere called in calculate button. Where is it? Or I think we are calling it inside itself. Yes, we are calling it inside itself. Okay. So calculate tip, we have taken three variables. We have taken bill amount, we have taken service quality, and we have taken number of people, because we have three text boxes, right? So all the values should be stored somewhere. So for all the three values, for all the three inputs, we have some values, and those values needs to be getting stored somewhere. So we have taken some variable, bill amount, service quality, and number of people. Fine. After that, it says if bill amount is triple equal to empty, if suppose anybody has not given the bill amount, and also service quality is 0. 0 means this 0, this 0. The value is only 0 when you're not choosing anything, right? So if nobody has given any bill amount, or if nobody has given any service quality, it's gonna give an alert message, please enter values. That's what was happening when I showed you the program. I showed you that if you're not putting anything, it's gonna give you an alert value. Correct? That's what is happening in this code. Next, if number of people is equal to empty, so let's say the number of people is, you are not writing it, and the number of people is less than or equal to 1, right? If it is 0, if it is -1, or if it is just 1, then we will reconsider the fact that number of people is 1. Even if you are not writing anything, which is this one, then also the number of people will be 1. Okay. And document.display each. Now see, each, right? Each will be displayed as none. Now understand, when I'm saying each will be displayed as none, can you see where is each? Each is here. That means this each word will not be shown when only one person is there. If you have only one person, each style.display will be none. So if I go back, if I'm putting here any bill amount, if I'm putting here anything, if I don't write anything, it's not gonna give me each. So this is very, very important. Okay. Now let's come back to the code. So we understood that each will not get displayed when your number of people is only 1, or even if you have not written any number of people. But if you have written number of people, then each will be displayed. So each style.display will be block. So we are making the display as block. So it will be visible. Cool. This, if you have done, the half of the thing is done for this particular project. Okay. Next. Now again, we have calculate tip. So we have to write the formula. So we have a variable total where we are putting down the formula. What is the formula? How much ever is the bill amount, we multiply it with the service quality. That means the percentage, and then we divide it with the number of people. That much is the total. Now this total can be in decimal numbers or can be very long, right? So we are rounding it off with multiplying with 100 and dividing with 100. You know why I'm doing this. In my one of the sessions, which is yesterday's session, I told you that if you are playing with numbers and if you are saying that you are multiplying any number with anything like 0.3 into 0.1 or maybe 0.3 plus 0.1, it's not going to give you the answer 0.4. It's going to give you the answer 0.400000005, because whenever you put numbers are always defined as a normal number in JavaScript. That is not integer, that is not float. It will be reconsidering the fact that the whole 17 digits in the decimal will be shown to you. Whole 17 digits. If you don't want the JavaScript to show me 17 digits, then you have to use multiplication and division to give a whole number. And that's why I'm using round method to make it as a whole number. So this particular thing, what it will do, it will round to 2 decimal places, and it will also fix. You can see here I'm putting here 2. That means I'm putting it to 2 decimal places. So if my answer is 43, it's going to give me 43.00. For an example, if I'm reloading the page, if I'm putting here 560, let's say 561, okay, some odd number, 15%, number of people 2, 42.08. It's not giving me something else, only 08. Why? because it is fixed to two decimal place. Nobody can change it now. That's what I've written here. Okay. Now what we are doing, document.getIn by ID, total tip ID is given here, right? This one. So here it's gonna display block. So once you click that particular button of calculate, then the total tip thing will become visible and it's gonna show me the total value. Fine. This was the function. Now next, if you're not clicking on calculate, then always your tip and everything else will be hidden like it is right now. So if I reload the page, right now everything is hidden. That's what I've written here. So if you are not clicking on any button, it's gonna be hidden. It's none and none. So nothing is gonna get showed. When it will show the total? When you are clicking on calculate. So this is the function which you have written. Okay, so we have written, if you are clicking this calculate ID where a function is written, it has to run calculate tip function. So from here it goes to calculate tip function and all these things happens. Fine. So I hope you got how this particular tip calculator is working, and I hope you got the HTML and JS for it, right? Carousel was a little bit difficult one. I know most of you have not understood. Do not worry, it's fine. You know how calculator works, how to do works, how digital clock works, how tip calculator works, and I think one more I did, right? Quiz, right? If you know these many projects as a beginner, it's fine. Carousel one is a little bit complicated. I'll again take that, okay, but in a different session. Fine. When I'll teach you more JS and more advanced JavaScript topics, then I'll again come back with Carousel. So don't worry if you've not understood that. But please do let me know if you've understood tip calculator. Please give me a thumbs up. I can see you guys are silent. I know, because maybe you have understood that carousel was a very hard one. Maybe that's why you guys are silent. Okay, please do let me know if tip calculator is explained very nicely and you have understood that. Try to do this code right away, right now, today itself, if you have time, and understand if you can understand that. Don't worry about carousel. Don't even think about it. If you see the video again, right? Maybe later on, if you see the video again, you will be able to understand. I was a little bit fast. I have also, though carousel project was divided into 2 videos. Maybe that's why here and there happened, and maybe you guys are facing problem, but that's fine. Okay. Perfect. Telegram channel, please join it so that you get an update. Also, soon I'll be sending all these files, all the coding files I'll be sending. I just need to do some changes. I'll be doing some changes and I'll be sending all the files back to you. So please join the Telegram channel to get all the code files and also all the notifications when I'm coming live. Please subscribe the channel, which is CodeBeyond, and also hit the notification bell so that you get an update and live notifications when I'm coming live. Also like and share the this particular sessions as well. Show the CSS part. Which one are you talking about? Okay, that one. Once again, let me show that. This is the CSS part. There are a lot of things, okay, which you also don't know. There are animations, okay, so that you follow later. Fine. So I'll just scroll down so that this video will be recorded, right? And you can be able to see the CSS again. Fine. This is the body. This is the container which you have written. Do not worry about this WebKit and Moz, okay? These are animations. Fine. So don't worry about these things. I am going to teach you tomorrow what is animation transition. So don't worry about this WebKit and all. H1, there is some code. Paragraph, there is some code. Form input. What is this? Width. Then some code for all the IDs and all. For focusing on the text box. For these things, service quality, the button. For the button, hover and active. Pseudo classes, before, if you remember, I taught you this. So these are the CSS for that. Fine. You can watch the video again to see the CSS again, but don't rely on CSS. Make it your version. Give your particular attractive qualities or properties to your web page. CSS is just a trial and error method. You have to practice a lot in CSS. JavaScript is functionality. You have to understand there. CSS is most of trial and error. Okay, fine. I'll meet you really soon tomorrow again, and we'll try to cover most of the things tomorrow because there is regular expression tomorrow happening and also animation and transition. So tomorrow's class will again be a fun. Okay, cool. So I'll meet you really soon, which is tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care.